Hello world, Patricia O'Connor here, and okay, I'm going to pan around real quick. Patricia O'Connor and Frida Reba Darcy here, and tonight what I thought that I would do would be put some better motion in this little pine. This is one of the ones that we just put some quick motion into, and I'll bring it into camera and let you see what we have going there. Stuff I like about this tree already. One, it comes out of the ground kind of running here. We got a good start there. And it's already began to thicken up some, and it looks like, yeah, it is already starting to fatten up some, and this is a real healthy little tree. What I am not crazy about this tree is also a couple of things. One, I probably should have went ahead and wired it all the way out instead of stopping here and leaving this, because that's valuable. I haven't decided what this tree's going to be yet. I should probably give this the same treatment right now that I'm giving the rest of it, because that leads me open to more styling ideas. And if I pursue it with that attitude, I might get something really going and creative, rather than have it all just kind of stop, you know, really suddenly right there. So, you know, some more motion in here, like accent that. We could work harder what we have now, tighter, more directional, rather than this flat thing, you know. Or I could unwire it and start over. And I put it that way because I've already mentioned in another video the idea about bringing the wire out of the side, sticking it down into the soil to where it comes out of the side of the pot, and then you bend it over. And when you've got a wire coming out like that, then you can wrap that guy and throw some motion into your trunk, knowing that the wire is embedded into something. I didn't do that on this one. It sunk into the root ball, and it worked. It worked well enough for what we're doing. So do I undo that and start over, or do I think the answer is I'm going to trim this back some, rake this soil back some, expose this root ball a little bit more, and I'm going to add a third wire. I'll add a third wire down here low, stick it down in there deep. It will come out the side and get hooked over. That wire will follow the other two, but then I'll take it farther. And the reason I say do it that way instead of just attaching the third wire here to the end, there would be something said for that, but I don't really like any place that I would have to fasten that third wire to there. And there's no branches yet. It hasn't made any. So it's just, you know, yeah, we're going to do that. That's what we're going to do tonight. And then with that third wire in there, I'm going to go to town and probably tighten up these pins and these pins. It would be just like me to put a Cheerio in that or two. So yeah, there's no time like the present. No, I'm not stalling. I'm looking for scissors. Oh, here they are. Okay, a couple of quick things. Well, all right, a couple of quick things. Let's take some of this soil back and give us a little room, to cut this pot back a little bit, so that I'm not just cutting soil with the scissors. That makes the most sense, because we know this much is already going anyway. Tonight's music is Tibetan bowls. It's something a good friend of mine recorded for me a couple of years ago. I really enjoyed it then and now. So I'm taking this soil back. It's more, I know I'm about to do the same thing with this pot, but I'm taking the soil back early so that I won't be just, you know, deliberately cutting soil with my scissors. I'm not really babying them already, but there's no point in being blatantly abusive about it, right? Okay, we removed a little more of the lip, and our fingers are all still there. So, all right, now a little bit more clean up here. That also gives this room to work. Okay. All right, now, is that enough wire to do this? It might very well be. Like I had said, stabbing this wire through the, I'm going to go the other way. Stabbing this wire through the pot is going to make that wire, me trust what I'm doing with the wire a lot more than I would otherwise. I'm going to try to go in it that way. Also, probably should have, I probably should have cut an angle on that wire as to make it a little sharper. We could still do that. So the idea at the time wasn't to go too terrible crazy on this. It was just, you know, we had these trees. We had 10 of these little trees like this. They were excellent looking starters. And they were probably all about 10 inches tall. Very, very healthy. And just nice looking starters. Each and every one a nice looking starter. So some of them I got really creative with and made a couple of really nice trees. And one of them is a little literati. I think I'm going to try to keep that tree small and literati. And another one was a cascade. And I haven't done a lot of cascades. But I was really happy with the way that came out. Also, I'm going to show you this before we get too crazy. I don't know if you can see that. Brought that wire out of there, brought it up, and then hooked it over the pot. Now, when I wrap that wire around the trunk, I know that whenever I start bending that wire, I will also very much be bending the trunk, and I won't be just spinning that wire around underneath the soil, doing all kind of spooky things. This is going to be tricky in that I'm going to have to wire a bent tree, an already bent up tree, which is a little harder than wrapping a wire around one and then bending it, especially when I want to keep the buds out of it. You guys just ran in there at the last second to get in the way. So I feel like I really learned a lot working with these guys, with these trees. And I got a lot of good experience putting motion in these trees. Also, about that same time, I started I have been following for some time several little programs, but one of the creators that I follow started working on small pines about that same time, and that got really fun to watch. What you're seeing me do is trying to avoid what I almost did there, which was cross my wire. So not only do I have to get all this on there and on an already bent tree, but we don't want to cross our wires on there. We've already got 3 wires on the trunk now, which is kind of the limit, I believe. I believe I've heard that said, and I also have seen that for myself be aesthetically true. It's because you can have 2 wires running up a tree and then tie a 3rd one in to go on a branch. That's what makes that's what, you know, you can see people doing that, and that's still considered to be okay. After that, it gets too busy. Yeah, after that, it gets too busy. Trying not. Yeah, there we go. So, it'll be a lot more of this for the next few minutes, which is all good. We can hang. Also, I could probably, this is not super tight yet. When it comes down to doing the bending of when it comes time to start working on the tree again, I will likely be doing a lot of that with the needle nose. This is almost like stitches. Where's the end? So I've been kind of looking forward to working on this tree for a minute. It is a very vigorous tree, and I felt like I owed it a little bit more motion in its trunk, and a little bit more direction in its style than what I gave it, and it was next. It's been next for a minute. I was watching Bonsai IQ the other day, and the creator, Hiroma, was wiring a show hen that he had purchased at an event, and he was saying how when he was putting the wire on it, he was saying this wire, and he would point to the bend in it. He would say this loop is what's going to dictate the height, because as he was putting the wire on, he knew that wire was going to be on the back side of a bend on that tree, and that was kind of his right. He started off measuring the tree and knew that he wanted to take a few centimeters off of it and shrink the tree, so to speak. And so while he was wiring it, he looked at it where he was, and he's like, yeah, this guy right here is going to be the back side of a bend that will pull the tree down. So I thought that was you know, that was kind of an interesting way. A lot of times when you're bending, when you're putting wires on something, you're just trying to get the wires on there without trapping all the buds. But we also need to give thought into that, and we need to put thought into which one of those is going to be doing all the work in the bend. Let's pull that up tighter. There. Excuse me. This is what we got going on so far. I'm about we're a good ways up. We're almost to the part where we're on, and by we're almost to the part where we're going to start using this wire for the part that we need it for. Everything's up until now, it's been kind of a third wheel, and that will look as good or bad as this wiring job, because I wasn't crazy about the bends that I'd put in it up until then, in that they just weren't enough. I didn't hate them, but the wrap itself was neat. So adding this third wire will either get away with that, or we won't. It's all up for play, I guess. That's the way to put that. Am I out of there? No. Okay. That was a little tricky to get those needles out once I had just about thoroughly lassoed them. Now we're out of all those. We're just about out of all those wild bends, which weren't that wild. I mean, part of what we're doing here tonight is going to try to make this a little more. Okay. Get out of there. You needles, get out of there. Now, this is the part where it counts. So, up until now, we've managed to do a fairly tight wrap on an existing wire, following it. And I don't think crossing it too much. If we did, I don't think we did though. It's kind of hard for me to see all down in there. But anyway, here is the part where where we're on. Now, this is the part where this is going to prove useful to this part of the tree. I can get all these needles out. Trying to grab these guys from the base and get them out of the path of the wire I got running through here. Before pulling the wire down tight and kind of sealing them up, you know. If I can get these, I can do that without pulling all these needles off, I would rather do that. I could leave those on. It's kind of just to say I did it at that point, but that's kind of what I wanted to do. All right. Now, here we go. So, we added a wire, and then it comes up there and gets busy. Now, we haven't really done anything to the shape of this tree yet, but we did expose a little bit more of this root ball. That could help us more with our root work later on, and we may have broken needle or two. I think we'll survive. So here's the part where I'm about to go to work. And what I want to do is try to put a lot more motion into this tree and put motion farther up the tree than what I had done prior. So that is pretty much our objective. I could do this. Man, that just simplifies everything. Okay. Now, and also, maybe even here. So this. How is that as far as frame? That. All right. So, what we have to work with: soft nose, needle nose, needle nose. Our stainless steel chopstick that I frequently use as a fulcrum. So yeah, that's, and then my my little skewers. I've got my little favorite tool here, my skewers. That's probably, maybe this guy, we'll keep that guy standing by. Okay. I haven't really got this totally thought out yet, but I do want to start here at the base. We're just going to start moving a lot and see where it takes us. Moving a lot as in moving a lot more than what we have now, and just kind of try to see where it takes us. So that was a good start. I think you can see the light in there. There's a little space we created. We also got this guy, a little bud removal. There wasn't actual. This thing is crazy with buds though, but I don't like giving them up. I don't want to give them up for nothing. that kind of hooks up and down. I don't know if I want to. That is such a hellacious hook. Why the? Okay. All right. I'm looking at a bend that I have here. Do I want to try to pull that out? Maybe, yeah. That was a good move. Now, I'm also twisting the heck out of this guy while I'm doing that too. This guy was pliable enough. I didn't use these guys near as much, but you know what? Doing that with your being able to get in there with your fingers on a tree that's this young is so doable, so fast with your hand. We are 26 minutes in. I think that's a tree. Okay, this is going to be our little turnaround. Comes out of the ground, moving really good here. Makes a Cheerio. Comes back around right here. Goes into another double loop. Comes around up there. And for the most part, except for that one bud, and I killed the hell out of that bud, but for the most part, my wiring looks like it's starting to get a little better. I've got less victims caught up in it, like poor dolphins in a net or something. And let's see. Yeah, that's it. That is a lot better. Ooh. This looks like, to me, an area of interest. I already like this, but that to me does. It looks like an area of interest. Let's see what I can do with that. I took my needle nose and put them in the big boy mode, in big mouth mode. Would like to grab that there and there. Can I? No. Okay. Do it there. The unfortunate part is I may have had a perfect grip on it just a second ago before I let go to show you. That was more. And then I straightened it up a little accidentally. Now bring that around like that. Okay. Loving that. Giving that the old love you. Look at that. It comes out of the ground, comes around like it did earlier, except I made that a little tighter in there. Just a little. Now you can see it. That's our little point of interest. Maybe pull that guy down a little too. Okay. That's where that bud was. Clean that up. All right. Okay, there it is. there it is. I love the way this thing spirals and pretzels and folds back on itself. And boom. Also, that little plug sticking up there, that'll be kind of cool. Tomorrow or the next day, I'll probably put this on one of the little milk cartons and sew it in so that its roots can escape from here out of the bottom. And we'll start working on our root work. And that's it. Our little Japanese black pine work for tonight. Now, this is something that just went from one of the trees I did to something cool, I think. I don't know. Let's wait and see. But yeah, I think this turned out okay. Better than okay. I think this turned out pretty good. All right. So that's more little Japanese black pine bending and folding and more of my Cheerio style of bending up trees. And for those of you, like and subscribe if you have not yet already. And our next drop will probably be, we'll probably do a couple of drops this weekend and probably do a couple of more shorts. Our weather's been kind of spring and chaotic, but in the spring sense of the word. A lot of wind, a lot of little individual showers, little 15-minute things. Feels kind of tropical, but it also has a coldness to it because of the wind, and it's early in spring. It seems colder now than when it was really winter, but it's not. It's just that we got kind of teased a little bit, and now we've already started acclimating. So that's pretty much it. I'm really happy with the way this guy came out. It was kind of big and spread out, and now we just folded it and compressed it right up. Thank you so much for watching.